Good morning, St. Paul, Twin Cities, Minneapolis, neighboring communities. This is your Un-Bougie foodie. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I know it's a Saturday. Okay, I'm just gonna ask the question, Minnesotans. Where's the snow? Okay, not because I'm truly interested in finding out about snow and everything right now, but yeah, we're in December 2nd at that, and we're supposed to be having, I guess, maybe some type of, I don't know, shouldn't we have some type of weird, uh, weather forecasting for snow or something like that? Anyway, uh, regardless, you're here with me this morning, so thank you very much. I hope you are taking the time to just sit back and relax. I'm here every day every day. See, I'm excited about that, I guess, maybe in the future sometime. But I'm here every Saturday at 10 a.m. Right here on WEQY 104.7, the voice of the East Side. And this show is about food. And I'm always excited to talk to you about food, new restaurants, places that I've gone to that maybe you have never gone as well. So hopefully you will get a bit more knowledge of maybe someplace new that you need to go to. But first things first, if you're interested in following me on Facebook, please do so by looking up the Un-Bougie Foodie. Or Instagram, which is _Un-Bougie Foodie, or on Twitter, which is at Un-Bougie Foodie. But also, you can find out all about, even more about myself, as well as places that I've gone to, articles that are written regarding restaurants that I've visited, or even just food experiences, by visiting my website, which is www.theunbougiefoodie.com. Again, www.theunbougiefoodie.com. I'm also taking calls. So if you have a suggestion or want to share maybe a recipe, feel free to give us a call here at the radio station at 651-200-3479. Again, 651-200-3479. You could always also leave me an email if you'd like, maybe with a suggestion or a comment about the show by sending that to theunbougiefoodie@gmail.com. And yeah, I'll definitely have the conversation. So all those different ways that you're able to converse and share with us, share with me, for me to reach out and speak to you, they're available. So thank you again so much for taking the time to basically have a seat with me. So, this past week was been really fun for me. Now, mind you, I'm going to tell you that, and I have always said, this show is about food. The show is called The Un-Bougie Foodie for a reason. However, sometimes you do have to kind of like go to a place that is a little bit more, even more upscale than what your name implies. So that is not to take away anything from this first restaurant that I want to talk to you about, which is Mercy Bar and Dining Room. It is located at 901 Hennepin Avenue. That's Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55403. you want to learn even more about them, you can always visit their website, which is Mercy MPLS. So mercyminneapolis.com. But I gotta say, I went there because I was, a friend was getting a year older, and so it was kind of a surprise, and I definitely was truly surprised. I had never been to this establishment before. It's a great it's referred to as, again, bar and dining room. Uh, it's a huge, I want to say venue or restaurant, if you would. Um, Gosh, when you go into the front door, it's this you're greeted with this huge expanse of seating areas. I mean, there's a bar that goes, I'd say, what, at least to get 50, 60 feet or something, maybe more. Anyway, uh, there's humongous seating in this restaurant. And it just so happened that there were, which I hadn't known, there were friends that worked there. And one is the manager, and so you get kind of the special treatment. And I think it's a special treatment only because, certain areas of the restaurant were not open for us to really say, for this party that was going to be there, for us to, occupy the space. But, he asked if we'd ever been there, and we told him no. Myself and my friend Warren had showed up first. So he was like, well, let me show you around. And I tell you, again, he showed us, the full span of the first floor, but there's this wonderful, cozy area that they've created down below from the restaurant itself, or from that first floor. And it's just an area where you could go and relax, and if you'd like, have an adult beverage, but also just to sit and in a quiet space. It's called the library bar, and they have a beautiful wine cellar. I don't think I've gone to a restaurant that has a wine cellar like this before, and I'm quite sure that there are others because I haven't gone to every restaurant, but this particular restaurant, or this area of it, I mean, I'm about aesthetics. I'm about an atmosphere, but it's not what I'm going to dwell on. But it does help, and I think everyone wants to feel that way, or wants to know that when they go into a restaurant, that they are going into someplace where they feel comfortable, or where they feel relaxed, and they could really have a good experience. I like the fact that it was the library bar downstairs from Mercy, still all connected, but it's just called the library bar. Dimly lit, nice seating. I mean, there were different types of couches and seatings, like chairs, and they were not all color coordinated in the sense of all one color, and maybe I should say monochromatic, or one color. They had various tones in the leathers and the colors, so you could be over in one corner and almost feel that you are in just your own space for this cozy area. And gosh, it was a really just awesome atmosphere. I know that there's no cigars or anything or smoking inside restaurants, but it just reminds me of watching a movie, and you see, individuals, men, women, having, maybe sipping on a cocktail, or having some type of, maybe a cigar, who knows. Anyway, enough on the library bar. going back upstairs, again, he went and showed us other areas of the restaurant. And again, if you've never had an opportunity to go there, they describe it on their website as being an unforgettable atmosphere. It's murals and really cozy booths that they have on the first floor on the initial level of Mercy. But you could go there for brunch, for happy hour, for if you want to go there for dinner, maybe you and your significant other want to go there for a special evening. This is a wonderful place. Like I said, definitely visit Mercy MPLS or mercyminneapolis.com, and you'll be able to learn more about the restaurant. Some of the items while we were there, I personally had three items actually. One was the calamari. And the calamari, I don't know what they did with their calamari, but it was something that aside from the lemon that you would normally squeeze on any calamari, there was something in the seasoning of this calamari that was just really special. And I would really love to know what it is. Restaurants don't give you secrets. You got to beg for them. No, kidding. But it was very tasty. And even surprisingly, the fried onion that came with it, they had their own type of, it was almost like they themselves were dipped in some type of seasoning, lightly, not even really breaded, but just some type of seasoning was put on the fried onions, but it served as a really great accent to or flavor enhancer to the calamari as well. There were pizza rolls. So there are a variety of different types of appetizers and so forth that you can get. Aside from having an actual meal or entree, there were a number of appetizers that you could obtain. I know some friends, other friends had ordered like pizza rolls, as I mentioned, which were really tasty. And I don't really particularly like pizza rolls, but maybe because it was restaurant level or restaurant style, is how this really, it enhanced it even more. It wasn't just little mini pizzas or ingredients stuffed on the inside. The outside crust was, it had its own flavor as well. Then there were the chicken wings. Chicken wings were, I'd say chicken wings are, I don't know if you want to say that certain places have their own different type of way to do their chicken wings, or restaurants when they're doing it high end, I suppose. What they do differently, there were chicken wings, and the sauce that they had was really great. I think it was just standard sauce. It may have also been ranch, possibly, if I remember, or was it? No, it wasn't ranch. I think it was maybe like a sour cream and chive, and some other ingredient that you would dip the chicken wings in. But yeah, those were really great. Now, for me, I had again continue on what I had. I had the calamari, as I mentioned, but I was hungry, and so I was trying to save myself and say I'm just gonna have one or two appetizers or whatnot, but I was really hungry, so I wanted to also get a feel of the different types of stuff that they do at the restaurant. So I ordered Brussels sprouts, and those Brussels sprouts, it was, I can't describe them other than they were so spectacularly good. Sorry, those are the descriptive words I'm going to use. But for the Brussels sprouts, they were roasted, or not roasted, but they were kind of sauteed. So definitely they were all warm, but then they were also cooked with Benton bacon. And if you're not familiar with Benton bacon, they're such flavor when it comes to this Benton bacon. Really good, nice pieces. They weren't just simply bacon that was just chopped or fried, prepared and then chopped and then sprinkled over the top of the Brussels sprouts. But these were chopped in a good size, recognizable pieces of bacon, and also Granny Smith apples. I know you're probably thinking, gosh, that seems like a weird or odd combination for Brussels sprouts, apples, and bacon. But when I tell you that the savoriness and the sweetness of the apple, the savoriness of the bacon and sweetness of the apple, along with the earthiness of the Brussels sprout, that mixture together, that combination, when you taste it on your tongue or in your mouth, you're excited for what is next. What other flavor are you tasting? There was a wonderful dressing that they drizzled over it as well, that even enhanced the flavor even more, along with mustard seeds it seemed like they were probably cooked in or mixed in with that dressing, but it added so much flavor, and I swear I could eat that 2 plates of those, but I only ate one, mind you, only one. The last thing that I had was, and I splurged. I did splurge. I really splurged. It was the 6-ounce filet mignon. Filet mignon. The filet mignon. It came, and you have to trust an individual or the chef. Not, I won't say cook. The chef that prepared or prepares these. And I'll say the grill master, because even the manager of the restaurant was saying, he really is a master at the grill. So although he want to call him a chef, he really is also a grill master, because the way that this filet mignon came out, just perfect. And I don't eat a lot of red meat, but that's just by choice, only because of, sometimes you can't digest everything as well. Anyway, TMI. But, I don't normally get a steak medium. I would normally have it medium well done. And so I took the chance, being that it was a filet mignon, and I know that if you ask for it to be well done or medium well, there would be the question, perhaps by the grill master or the chef, or even somebody that really does grilling often, why do you want that? That's going to be overcooked, especially for this type of meat. So I went with medium and was so glad that I did. I mean, it had the perfect crust on the outside and searing all the way around. And then when you cut into the filet mignon, it was tender enough, and there were juices that were the inside or the middle was still moist, and you could see a little bit of pink, not red, but pink. But so much flavor, and honestly, like melting your mouth. I enjoyed the grilled scallions that they put on top, and also there was like a mashed potato or a potato puree that was on the bottom that they served it on top. Just such a great presentation, and the food was really awesome as well. So I know enough about talking about it and describing it. So why don't you go out and, for a special occasion, and I will say again, you will have to make that determination because I would say that this would be a place that you're really going to reserve for a very, very special occasion. But uh, learn more about Mercy Bar and Dining Room by going to their website, mercympls.com. Remember, they're located at 901 Hennepin Avenue in Minneapolis. Check out that, check out their menu. I'm just going to say that. Check out their menu. All right. Next place that I'd like to share with you, which, I've driven past this place, and even before starting as the Un-Bougie foodie on WEQY, I'll say years ago, it was on another morning television show or news station where they had the roving reporter going out and experiencing, what's out in the community, events and so forth. And that reporter at that time had gone to a place the American Swedish Institute. And it was around the holiday season too. So I clearly remember, going there or them going there and just talking about, the cultural center that's there, and just the institute itself. How for the holidays they spend more time decorating it, showing it for families and culture-wise. So in this instance, they created a cafe. Nordic-inspired cafe is what it's described as. But Fika, which is located at 2600 Park Avenue, that's again in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55407. Fika it's refreshing. It's a bright spot. I mean, literally when you go there, you can't help but appreciate the fact that it's large windows, so it lets in a lot of sunlight and just makes for really great food photography. By the way, I'm just saying. You could see a courtyard that's connected to the Swedish Institute. It's a wonderful, wonderful space. And that's, again, just the space itself. I haven't even talked about the food. But if you want to find out further information about, food that Fika offers, you please go to their website, which is fikacafe.net, www.fikacafe.net. And you could find out a whole lot more about items that are on their menus. What I am going to share is what I went there with some coworkers, and none of us had ever really been there. And so it was we just took the time on a Friday to, step away from the office. It was nearby, and so we wanted to have something different. And looking at this menu, I mean, it was just very light and colorful. The way that they described the different types of dishes that they prepared and that they offered. So this was during the week, which was, I mentioned, on Friday. They open at 11, so we got there, I'd say maybe about 11:15. So it was packed. I mean, it really was packed, and enjoyably enough, because you got to smell the aroma from the kitchen where they're preparing the meals and seeing dishes come out, and people that were there before us, and they were getting, whether it be a sandwich or a open face sandwich, or a salad, having, 11 o'clock in the morning, you can have an adult beverage, in this case, a glass of wine, some pairings that they have available. Of course, when you're working, you can't really do that. So we chose to have water and just went through the different menu items. For myself, the first thing that I saw, well, two things, uh, was the braised rabbit and meatballs. I'm like, okay, I've got to have, Swedish meatballs, or the American Swedish fusion sweet ball. Meatballs. Oh man. Um, Meatballs. We'll start off with those. The juniper spiced meatballs, and it comes with a potato on a potato puree. That's the meatballs are then topped with cucumbers that have been, I believe they have been in some type of brine or kind of like pickling, but the cucumbers were sliced very, very thin. So you got about 5 or 6 pieces on top of about 4 meatballs. And then along the side, there was a lingonberry sauce and also a mustard sauce. Now, with the ladies that I was having lunch with, one of them, she mentioned how her mother definitely is, has that Swedish background. She has, culture. So she was saying, be very careful of the mustard sauce, because it can be overpowering. But not in this case. I mean, I loved it. It was really, really great. I mean, the meatballs were just the right size. I cut mine in half. I'm always inspecting my food, so I cut it in half. I wanted to see what the ingredients were, what it looked like on the inside, and you could still see the spice on the inside of the meat, how it was flavored or seasoned all the way through. I believe there may have been small bits of onions, or just other ingredients that were in the meatballs, but they had a great taste. And then to mix it with the mustard sauce and having a little bit of the potato puree, it was a great combination. The Interesting. I have a call. Give me a minute, caller. Hello, caller. Thanks so much for calling into. Um, wow, I missed them. How do I miss them? I'm sorry about that, caller. Give me a call back if you can. Wow, I missed that caller. I'm sorry, caller. Well, if you'd like to call back, please do so. It's 651-200-3479. I apologize for that. Anyway, the next item I wanted to talk about on that I had was that braised rabbit. It's hard when you're one individual. Is the braised rabbit. The braised rabbit. Gosh, I think this is not the first time I've had rabbit before. My father is one of those individuals that will certainly cook or prepare unique items for his family when we were younger. In past shows, I've talked about that. But here I am at a restaurant, and specifically for lunch too, I'm having braised rabbit. Now, that braised rabbit, It had carrots, celery. I believe they were pearl onions, and then potato gnocchi and the rabbit au jus. It I have not had anything like this before. It was not heavy. The rabbit, the meat itself from the rabbit was tender. It was flavorful. Uh, I'm. It's interesting what type of seasonings or so forth that may have actually been used to prepare it. Uh, but it was light, especially for lunch. You don't want to go ahead and get the itis. Falling asleep at your desk, especially at what we were having at before 12 o'clock. We hadn't hit the 11:30 mark, and already it had come out, and we were provided with our dishes and everything. But it was the perfect blend of items all together. They definitely know what they're doing there at Fika. There are so many other exciting and delightfully looking dishes. One of the coworkers and friends that was at the table, she had gravlax, which is house cured salmon, deviled egg, onion jam, capers, and Danish rye. And I tell you, there's something about colorful, eye-catching food, because the braised rabbit, that dish, with the brightly colored carrots added in, the potato gnocchi, the microgreens that were on top, and then even for the gravlax, it was beautiful coloring. And I'm talking about beautiful coloring and so forth, only because the way that they prepared it, presentation, of course, as I've always said, is everything. And they presented this just like it was picture perfect. I love I think it was some type of, it may have been a sugar beet, or possibly. I didn't get a chance to taste. I don't really like to go off and taste other people's foods. I mean, if they offer, yes, and they put it and say, hey, would you like to taste the beets? It's like we were out for lunch. We were all hungry. So I just saw it and I was just like, gosh, that is such a beautiful presentation. And it's even better when it's on white plates, or white bowls and dishes. It highlights the colors and brings more focus to the food itself. And then of course you're excited by what you're looking at until you taste it, and then even more so you feel like you're being transported someplace else. Yeah, for me, yeah, it was all about that. So again, if you'd like to learn more about Fika and other items that are on the menu that I haven't spoken about, fikacafe.net, www.fikacafe.net. They are located at 2600 Park Avenue in Minneapolis, Minnesota 55407. Yeah. All right. What are you doing today? I'm asking the question just, it's still early, so you have an opportunity to do some things. Why not visit or learn about Eat Street, on Nicolett, in Minneapolis specifically. But at the Hennepin History Museum today, well, actually all day, it runs really from September 7th to February 25th. So that we've already passed September. We're going all the way through to February 2018. You could go to the Hennepin History Museum, located at 2303 3rd Avenue South, and that's Minneapolis 55408, and learn all about Eat Street. You find out about the legacy that's behind Eat Street, and that covers all the different types of stories and cuisines that are along the stretch of Nicolett Avenue. And that runs from Grant Street in downtown to 29th Street in South Minneapolis. And if you've not been down Eat Street, Nicolett, you have to go. It really is. It covers so many different types of cuisines. I mean, anything that you really want. Minneapolis on Eat Street on Nicolett offers that. I mean, pho. Tacos, Wiener Schnitzel offerings, so many different types of things. Many of them are immigrant-owned establishments, some public and private collaborations, but everything has some type of flavorful and delicious result that you can't miss. And even though Minneapolis has theirs, we know that St. Paul has our own Eat Street as well. I'm going to call it that. I hope other people are jumping on board with that as well, because honestly, you could find wonderful places to eat down Payne specifically, and that's what St. Paul would call, I would say is St. Paul's Eat Street, especially on the east side. Going down Payne Avenue, I mean, again, you could find Vietnamese, American fare, a French infused, or just cafe styles that you can just enjoy and have your pick from. There are Mexican, there's El Salvadorian, so I know I talked about that one in Minneapolis, and finding out this information, you could find out more by going to citypages.com, and it will direct you to the information about Eat Street and learning the history behind it. It has a really rich legacy, and they're celebrating 20 years basically of being an area that people would actually go to have these different type of cuisines from around the world. Again, Hennepin History Museum, 2303 3rd Avenue South. That's Minneapolis, Minnesota 55404. And interestingly enough, you can do that every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So every day except for Monday. And that's from the time period, or the date that I mentioned, which was from September 7th to February 25th next year. So yeah, definitely get out there and visit. Learn more about that wonderful food haven that we call Eat Street in Minneapolis. But don't forget about St. Paul, though, because if you all haven't noticed, St. Paul is rising up. People are really recognizing St. Paul. I mean, there are businesses, restaurants that are looking at or coming over into the St. Paul area and recognizing that this is just a rich neighborhood as well. So don't sleep on the east side of St. Paul. We have our own Eat Street as well. So eat on Payne. Hashtag eat on Payne. No pain, no gain. I want to once again encourage you or invite you to call in if you have a suggestion, want to make a comment. Feel free. I'm so sorry I missed that caller. 651-200-3479. I pressed the button. I did. I really did. 651-200-3479. Also, make sure that you're checking out my website too, which is www.theunbougifoodie.com. A number of the photos and that I've taken, of, places that I've gone to can be found on the gallery page. So if it's very intuitive. Feel free to look through the site, read a number of the different articles that are available. I think a most recent one that I wrote was regarding Chimborazo, which is a Ecuadorian restaurant on the northeast side of Minneapolis. Gosh, I talked about them, I believe, last week. But if you want to learn a little bit more, you could go to the Un-Bougie that website, and again, check out the articles. Food is my love, is my passion. And I hope that you all, by going to the website, by listening to the show, I hope that I'm able to impart stories and encourage you to not only to go out to a restaurant, but also to take a moment or take some time to learn how to make a particular dish. It's funny I'm talking about that because I have a coworker, a friend I consider as well. We are always talking about cooking, and I'm always telling her about maybe a cooking class that I've gone to or whatnot. And she has a few cookbooks, and she felt that she wanted to, rather than not letting them go to use, she wanted to share them with me. So thank you, Amanda. I appreciate these cookbooks. I'll post what those cookbooks are. They're really talking, they're Indian cooking, a number of curries. One, I believe, is just, I think it's just entitled Complete Indian Cooking, I believe. It's in my backpack. I can't reach it. And then the other is still pretty much just about curries in general, but it lists about 150 different recipes from Indian to Thai and Asia. Just wonderful publications that show the different types of curries that can be made. And I'm going to leave here today, by the way, and go get myself a mortar and pestle, a larger one, because I would like to make a larger amount of curry. And I recently went to a cooking class, and that cooking class was by, and I talked about this already, this was probably a couple of weeks ago, but it was with Chef Yia Vang. That was like November 7th. But I gotta mention it before, because I promised that I was going to talk about it. I was going to have the recipe or whatever, but I'm going to tell it to you now. But those cookbooks have, aside from the class, having those cookbooks have really inspired me to want to do or to create one that maybe one that I haven't had, or I don't know, tried my hand at making it different type of spice level without, still being Minnesota nice. I mean, I could handle some spice. I think slowly, gradually, Minnesota folks, you can handle some spice. I know you can. I want to do one. I want to create just a large batch and just be able to put it in the back of my refrigerator, and just when I need it, take out a couple of tablespoons or whatnot. Anyway, this particular recipe, it was red chili curry, and in the time that we have, I want to share this with you. So if you have a pen and paper, I'm going to go through the list, but I'm going to also make it available on the unbougifoodie.com, as well as make it available on Facebook, so that you would have it available that you can make your own, and create your own and use it. So first off, there's the creating of the curry paste, and he Chef Vang really helped us to understand that the entire dish itself, yes, even though they refer to it as it's curry, it's the actual paste that really is the curry, because of all the different types of spices and ingredients that go into the curry. It's that curry that is then added to, or I'll say meat, that is meat, vegetables, or other ingredients that are then added to that curry, that totally all encompass what a curry is. Because you could put different types of meats, whether it be chicken, beef, lamb. There's really almost anything. Fish, mushrooms. If you want to go vegan, you can do the word escapes me. Tofu. You could do tofu, because tofu, it's firm enough, and when you cook it in the curry or in any other ingredients, it takes on that actual flavor. So you're able to actually taste the different spices and the curry mixture itself on the actual within the tofu. But before we get away from myself, the red chili curry, the curry paste starts off first with 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1 tablespoon of coriander, 1 tablespoon of black peppercorn, 2 to 3 Thai chilies, 1/4 cup of chopped cilantro ends, 1 tablespoon of chopped lemongrass, 2 to 3 garlic cloves, 2 tablespoons of ginger, it's chopped, 1 tablespoon of galangal. And you can find galangal, by the way, at your local Asian market. 1 kaffir lime leaf, 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, half of a roasted red pepper, 1 tablespoon of paprika, and 1 tablespoon of salt. You're going to put all these ingredients in. If you have a mortar and pestle, you're going to put those all together in a mortar and pestle and mash it. I mean, really work that and until it becomes a very thick paste. And you're going to see the colors change to that a deep red color, and it's from the red pepper, the roasted red pepper, from the Thai chilies that you're going to use, and then of course basically from when you're cooking it or when you're actually reducing it from, and that's where we come into the next step of preparing that. You're going to add 1/4 cup of canola oil to smooth out the mix. And then you're going to cook that mash on low heat for about 20 minutes until it gets to an extra thick paste. And you'll see the change of the curry as well. The coloring. I like to use descriptive colors. It's going to be a deep burgundy almost color. But then you'll still see all the different like the cilantro and the lemongrass and the different ingredients turn those different colors a deeper dark burgundy. And that's when really that you don't want to go too far. You have to watch it. That's when that it is ready, or for you to either, if you're going to save it, or you're going to add your meat or other vegetables to it, that's when you want to start doing that. The remaining portion of this is really, we used chicken. So with that curry paste that we prepared, because you want to prepare the paste first, and then prepare your other ingredients. If you're going to do chicken, maybe tofu or whatnot, you have that prepared after you've done your paste, or you prepare that after you've done your paste. So the coconut curry chicken is going to be 1 cup of coconut milk, 2 tablespoons of curry paste, which we just prepared, 1 cup of diced chicken, preferably thighs because they have much more flavor, a lot more moist and juicy. Sorry. 1 cup of chopped carrots, and you can add the carrots. You can also add other vegetables as well, such as green beans. You probably cut those up in quarter pieces, maybe about 1 inch long, if you would, and about 1 cup of that as well. That's what we kind of did. But you don't necessarily, that's an optional item. You could also add mushrooms. There were 2 different types of mushrooms. I forgot that. Not chicken of the wood. I can't remember. There were 2 other type of mushrooms, but standardly, for myself, I would probably do maybe oyster or baby bella mushrooms. So about 1 cup of mushrooms as well. And you don't have to chop those or anything, but you certainly can just maybe slice them up so that they're in a smaller piece that's more bite-sized and manageable. And so after you have all of that prepared, you're then going to cook your chicken and then add the curry paste, and then you're going to add the coconut milk and simmer for about 15 minutes. You can serve that after it's been completed over white rice, specifically maybe sticky rice. Again, another type of rice or item that can be purchased at your local Asian food market. Or you could eat it with naan bread, which is just as good. We had it with sticky rice. Yeah. Bomb.com. Bomb. So as promised, I will make this recipe available. I had it and just did not have it available for you all the other week. So I wanted to make sure that I laid it out, all the different ingredients. Once again, I'll make this available on Facebook and more importantly on the Un-Bougie So make sure that you're visiting the Un-Bougie hopefully later on today. You should see that on there. But it will definitely be on there by the end of today, or maybe within the next couple of hours. So just know that this is a really great recipe, and if you all do make it, please share with me your thoughts. I'd love to see maybe a picture or two, and if you want to share that, you could either send it to my Facebook page or to the Un-Bougie Foodie at theunbougie@gmail.com. If you'd like me to share that on my webpage, I'll be happy to, and definitely give you credit for that. So I so enjoy sharing food with you all, and I hope that you like doing the same. All right, people. I will say that we have not done Get Your Groupon in a while. So we'll do one Get Your Groupon right now. There's just so many different types of foods and places and restaurants that you want to talk about. So sometimes you don't get a chance to do your Get Your Groupon that you need to. Today, though, we're going to be concentrating on Darbar. Now, Darbar, is Indian grill and bar. Great Indian food. I'm just saying it's great Indian food, my opinion. Darbar is located at 1221 West Lake Street in Minneapolis. Now, the Groupon is a little bit different because what it's saying, it's offering 20% back, so you get cash back. That I've seen that often within, I suppose, often now within Groupons, where rather than just offering maybe a discounted price or something for a meal, they'll offer you a 20% cash back. And that's what Darbar is offering, or your Get Your Groupon. I'm tying this into all, the curries and the cookbook, the curry recipe that we just talked about. They have a wonderful menu. So if you are not familiar with Darbar, learn more about them by going to darbarindiagrill.com, and you can find out all the different items that are on their menu. But specifically, visit Groupon and simply type in Darbar, and it will give you more information regarding that Get Your Groupon. So I hope that we've provided you with some wonderful places, as well as in recipes that you'll be able to put to good use. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I want to end this show by showing my appreciation to you, but also encourage you at the end of every show never to let anyone tell you what type of foodie to be, because really, it is all about the food. Until next time, people, peace.